How important is a league structure important for the development of the game in the country, Mr. Hamar?
The the importance of league structure, from my experience, can be easily demonstrated from the success of our own Mizoram Premier League. I used to say that the Mizos, all those days, we always had the talent to be one of the force in Indian football, but we never succeeded because we did not have the platform back home. Our players who train outside in the likes of the Tata Football Academies and the other academies, they can play at the highest level of Indian football. Back then it was National Football League. But there are equally good players back home who do not get that opportunity because we do not provide them the platform. We do not have a league structure in our own state. So when we started the Mizoram Premier League in 2012, then suddenly it was followed by success in different levels, from the Santosh Trophy to the national games and finally at the I League. If Mizoram can do it with a proper league structure, why not the other state? So coming to the Indian Women's League, if we do not provide them the platform to perform, so the football in the women's football in India will remain the same. But with a proper league in place now, we can see the future of Indian football. Women's football is really bright.
Now we are having an extended format of the Hero Indian Women's League as this season where 12 teams are participating, vying for the top spot. Your thoughts on this? In which way it's going to help the players?
Playing 11 matches minimum is like uh, it was a dream because when the league started, the Indian Women's League started in 2016, we could hardly have, if I'm not mistaken, six clubs from all across the country. So now we have not only 12 teams, we have other teams who want to participate in the league but who had to go through the qualifiers. With these 12 teams, we have a minimum of more than, you know, uh, 200, 250 odd players playing 11 matches. So this is only going to going to help the growth of not only Indian women's football, but the growth of Indian football altogether. 11 competitive matches for women who did not have the opportunity to play even a single tournament some 5, 10 years back. Now it is slowly going to become a professional sport. I don't know if not, it already started as a professional sport.
Exactly. And now Mata Rukmani aside from Chhattisgarh trying to make a mark in the mainstream of Indian football despite all the odds. And now let's have a look at their rise and build up to the league.
हमारा क्लब 1976 में एक्चुअली हमारी संस्था रजिस्टर हुई थी और हमारा क्लब 2 साल पहले बना था, लेकिन हमारे बच्चे जो हैं वो बहुत पहले से खेल रहे हैं। बच्चे स्कूल कॉम्पिटिशन्स खेलते थे, एचएफआई खेलते थे, सुब्रतो खेलते थे, लेकिन 2 साल पहले पहली छत्तीसगढ़ विमेंस लीग हुई थी जो कि 2020 में बेसिकली, और वो हम विनर्स थे। इस साल भी फिर से हम सेकेंड कंसेक्यूटिव ईयर में हम विनर्स हैं और जो प्लेयर्स हैं वो सारे के सारे बस्तर से बिलोंग करते हैं, जो कि छत्तीसगढ़ का एक जिला है, एक डिस्ट्रिक्ट है। और जितने भी प्लेयर्स हैं वो सारे के सारे ट्राइबल्स हैं, मोस्टली ट्राइबल्स हैं, और सारे के सारे बच्चे अंडर 17 या मोस्टली अंडर 17 अंडर 19 है। हमारे आश्रम में जितने भी बच्चे आते हैं, प्रैक्टिस करते हैं, हम किसी को मना नहीं करते खेलने से, और उनमें से जो बेस्ट होते हैं वो हमारी टीम के लिए खेलने के लिए, रिप्रेजेंट करने के लिए नेशनल कॉम्पिटिशन्स में आते हैं।
यहाँ पर मैं श्री पद्मश्री धर्मपाल सैनी जी का भी नाम लेना चाहूँगा, क्योंकि ये जो भी आश्रम है वो उन्हीं की मेहनत से यहाँ तक पहुँचा है। उन्होंने जो है जंगलों में जा के जो वहाँ पे रहते थे, गांव वगैरह में पेरेंट्स को जाके है ना पुश किया, क्योंकि वो लड़कियों को पढ़ाई के लिए भेजना नहीं चाहते थे। वो लोग जो है अपनी लड़कियों को जो लोकल घर का काम रहता है उसी में, या जंगल में पानी वगैरह लाना है ना, उस सब में ही इन्वॉल्व करना चाहते थे। मगर इन्होंने उनको समझाया कि नहीं, लड़की की जो एजुकेशन है, महिलाओं की जो एजुकेशन है वो बहुत ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि अगर एक महिला पढ़ती है तो पूरा घर का विकास होता है। और फिर उसके बाद उन्हें स्पोर्ट्स का भी उन्होंने क्योंकि हमारी लड़कियां 6-6, 7-7, 8-8 किलोमीटर चलती हैं, कभी कभी पानी लेने जाना होता है, दूर जाना होता है, बहुत ही हार्ड लाइफ है, बहुत ही कठोर जीवन व्यतीत करती हैं। तो उन्हें समझ में आया कि अगर उनको स्पोर्ट्स में रुचि बढ़ाएं लड़कियों की, तो फिर उससे भी उन्हें काफ़ी फायदा होगा। तो अगर आप देखेंगे तो हमारे यहाँ से मैराथन में काफ़ी लड़कियां गई हैं जो नेशनल लेवल पे मैराथन किया है, खो खो हो गया, कबड्डी हो गया। फिर उन्होंने ही जो फुटबॉल है 2013 में फुटबॉल भी इंट्रोड्यूस किया आश्रम में, और जो लोकल जैसे योगेश ने बताया कि लोकल सुब्रतो टूर्नामेंट खेलते थे, स्कूल टूर्नामेंट्स खेलते थे, तो वैसे ही उन्होंने जो है स्पोर्ट्स को भी काफ़ी बढ़ावा दिया।
उनकी ट्रेनिंग जो थी वो धर्मपाल सैनी जी, पद्मश्री धर्मपाल सैनी जी ने स्टार्ट करवाई थी। वो खुद फुटबॉल के बारे में ज़्यादा नहीं जानते हैं, लेकिन उन्होंने आसपास जितने भी लोग थे, जितने भी कोचेस थे, उनकी हेल्प दी और कोशिश करी कि जो टीम है वो धीरे धीरे प्रोग्रेस करे और अच्छा खेले। सुब्रतो में भी उन्होंने नेशनल लेवल पे क्वार्टर फाइनल्स में भी वो पहुंचे हैं, और अभी रिसेंटली हमने छत्तीसगढ़ विमेंस लीग 2 बार जीती, जैसा कि मैंने बताया पहले। जो कोचेस हैं वो कोचेस भी वहाँ पे नहीं थे, पहले बच्चे खुद ही प्रैक्टिस करते थे। तो गोयल ग्रुप ने आउटडोर फुटबॉल एकेडमी जो भुवनेश्वर में है उनको कांटेक्ट किया, और हम कोचेस जो हैं हम आउटडोर फुटबॉल एकेडमी को रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं। हमने वहाँ पे जाके एज अ थर्ड पार्टी हमने वहाँ पे कोचिंग देना स्टार्ट किया है। तो ये प्रोजेक्ट लगभग 6 मंथ्स पहले स्टार्ट हुआ है। उससे पहले भी बच्चे खेल रहे थे, लेकिन प्रॉपर कोचिंग नहीं मिल रही थी। तो 6 महीने से एक रेगुलर प्रोग्राम चल रहा है, मॉर्निंग इवनिंग सेशंस होते हैं, सारे एज ग्रुप्स की ट्रेनिंग होती है। बट जो मेन कंसर्न है वो डाइट का है। जो बच्चे हैं उन्हें एथलीट की डाइट नहीं मिल पाती, एक नॉर्मल डाइट मिलती है, क्योंकि वो एक आश्रम है, और आश्रम को मैनेज करना, वो भी जहाँ पे 300 बच्चे एक साथ पढ़ रहे हैं, सारे के सारे छोटी फैमिली से बिलोंग करते हैं, जहाँ पे धर्मपाल सैनी जी सिर्फ डोनेशंस या फिर गवर्नमेंट की हेल्प से उसे मैनेज कर रहे हैं। तो बड़ा मुश्किल होता है उन बच्चों को एथलीट वाली डाइट देना। लेकिन अभी हमारी कोशिश है कि हम अगर अच्छा खेलेंगे तो हमारे लिए हेल्प आएगी।
जैसे गोयल ग्रुप आया है, वैसे हो सकता है हमें और भी सपोर्ट मिलेगा, और ऐसी ही दुविधाओं से जूझ कर ये लड़कियां जो हैं यहाँ तक पहुंची। और इसलिए देखिए कई बार अगर आप हमारी लड़कियों को देखेंगे तो आपको लगेगा वो छोटी सी हैं, है ना, और थोड़ा शर्माती वगैरह हैं, पर जब आप उन्हें फील्ड पे खेलते हुए देखेंगे तो आपको ये दिखाएंगी कि जो उनकी जो नेवर से डाई एटीट्यूड है, और जिस तरीके से वो मुसीबतों का सामना करते हुए यहाँ पे आई हैं। क्योंकि देखिए उनके परिवार में भी जो है हर एक का सपोर्ट नहीं होता है, उनकी सोसाइटी में भी जो है उतना सपोर्ट नहीं है कि लड़कियां जो हैं फुटबॉल खेल रही हैं, है ना, और सबके आगे शॉर्ट्स वगैरह में खेलती हैं। तो ये सब उस कल्चर में जो है उतना ओपन नहीं, मगर वो सब जो है इन सब ख्यालों के अगेंस्ट लड़ती हुई यहाँ तक आई हैं। और हमें उम्मीद है कि यही जो उनका व्यवहार है वो आपको फील्ड पे भी देखने को मिलेगा, कि हमारा जो नेवर से डाई एटीट्यूड है वो आपको फील्ड पे जरूर मिलेगा। देखिए हमें सिर्फ फुटबॉल से प्यार है, हमारी लड़कियों को भी फुटबॉल से प्यार है, और हमें फुटबॉल खेलना बहुत पसंद है। हमारे अगेंस्ट कौन खेलता है उससे हमें इतना कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, क्योंकि जब भी हम जाते हैं हम ये चाहते हैं कि जो हमारा पर्सनालिटी है हम उसको दिखा सकें। अब जितनी बड़ी टीम होंगी उतना हमें रोमांचक ज़्यादा है, उतना एक्साइटमेंट ज़्यादा है, क्योंकि अगर हम गोकुलाम जैसी टीम के साथ खेल रहे हैं जो कि अभी एशिया में खेल के आई हैं, सेतु एफसी के साथ खेल रहे हैं, इंडियन एरोज जहाँ पे कि बेस्ट लड़कियां हैं वो खेल रही हैं, तो हमारे लिए तो अच्छी बात है कि इसका मतलब है कि हमने अच्छी से मेहनत करी है, और ये प्रतीक है इस बात का कि हम जो राह पे निकले हैं वो राह हमने सही चुनी।
और सारी प्लेयर्स जो हैं बहुत एक्साइटेड हैं, नर्वस कोई भी नहीं है, क्योंकि सब एंजॉय कर रहे हैं। ऐसा कभी प्लेटफॉर्म उन्हें मिला नहीं है। वो आश्रम में रहने वाले, जंगलों में रहने वाले बच्चे हैं जिन्हें कुछ फैसिलिटीज नहीं मिलती, तो पहली बार अपने जगह छोड़कर इतने सारे बच्चे एक साथ बाहर आए हैं, तो वो एंजॉय कर रहे हैं। सब एक्साइटेड हैं बहुत ज़्यादा नए मैचेस खेलने के लिए, अच्छे ग्राउंड्स में खेलने के लिए, क्योंकि छत्तीसगढ़ में ग्राउंड्स बहुत कम है, अच्छे ग्राउंड बहुत कम है, या तो पत्थर वाले ग्राउंड्स हैं या रेत वाले ग्राउंड्स हैं, और ऐसे अच्छे ग्राउंड्स, ऐसी अच्छी फैसिलिटीज़ वहाँ पे नहीं है। तो सभी बहुत एक्साइटेड हैं, और हम कोशिश करेंगे कि हम टफ फाइट दें सभी अच्छी टीमों को।
बल्कि अगर हम देखें कि जो हमें यहाँ पे एसी रूम्स मिल रहे हैं, खाने के लिए इतना अच्छा मिल रहा है, ये सब उन लड़कियों को मिलता नहीं है ना। तो जब वो यहाँ पे आई हैं तो अगर आप देखें उन्हें समझ में आ रहा है कि वो जहाँ पे थी अगर वो वहाँ पे अच्छी मेहनत करेंगी है ना, तो उनको आगे जिंदगी में क्या क्या मिल सकता है अगर वो ऐसे ही परिश्रम करती रहेंगी और अपने फुटबॉल को जो है अच्छे से अप्रोच करेंगी, अच्छे से डिसिप्लिन से करेंगी, तो उन्हें पता है कि उन्हें सक्सेस मिलेगी, और जब सक्सेस मिलेगी तो क्या क्या चीजें वो अचीव कर सकती हैं।
It was truly inspirational, Mr. Hamar. How refreshing is it to see clubs emerging from such remote areas to the mainstream of Indian football?
This is one of the most beautiful stories to come out of this season's Indian Women's League, if not the most beautiful story already. When I look at the face of the players, it shows that they are really happy to play at the highest level of Indian football. They have started their journey. In fact, they already won 3 points. Not only that they played against a team from the capital, they beat them. This is one of the most inspirational story to come out of Indian football because Chhattisgarh, uh, they are not, with due respect, they are not known for football. And especially women's football, we have never heard of a team from Chhattisgarh before. But look at them playing. They narrowly lost against Odisha Police. Odisha is known for women's football. It shows that this group of young women, they have the talent, they have the determination, they have the energy. They will only get better.
And talking about Gokulam Kerala, they are going through a purple patch. The defending champions has been in smooth sailing for them this season as well in the Hero Indian Women's League. So how do you see to this meteoric rise of Gokulam Kerala?
See, Kerala, they always have their history. But Gokulam Kerala women's team, they want to show that Indian football can be a force even at the Asian level. Not only that, they have a strong team at the I League. They also have a very maybe a stronger team in the Indian Women's League. They have shown last season that in the last edition that they could be the champions of India. They wanted to repeat it, and they again want to play at the highest level of Asian football. So they knew that winning the IWL will guarantee them a spot at the Asian competitions again. So they wanted to be continue as a flag bearer for Indian women's football, and I really appreciate the management of Gokulam Kerala because there are not many clubs in Indian football, honestly speaking, who take women's football seriously. But Gokulam, they are the one who take women's football seriously, and they are a serious team.
And now with the FIFA Under 17 Women's World Cup at the horizon, the camp for which already started at Jamshedpur, how important this mega event going to be for women's football in the country?
We already hosted the FIFA Under 17 Boys World Cup in 2017. If you look at the current ISL season, the star performers of the current ISL season and also the Indian national team, they if you count numbers, many of them are from that Indian under 17 boys football team. So we have we may not have the chance to become the champions of under 17 girls World Cup, but we do have the chance to do well because the FIFA ranking of Indian women's team is much higher than the men's team. So, given this kind of platform, we have to grab the opportunity. This is very, very crucial for the development of Indian women's football and also the whole Indian football in general.
We saw Mizoram as well starting the women's league back in Aizawl. What are the steps of upgradation to be imposed by MFA in the future?
See, we started the Mizoram Women's League 4 years back. We have finished second season of the Mizoram Women's League, but unfortunately, because of the pandemic, we could not continue it for 2 years. That was 2 blank years. We just did not have any football. Not only women's football, even the men's football, even the Mizoram Premier League was not played. The government they took extra precaution because they did not want the players to suffer. So competitive football was not allowed for more than 2 years now. We are in the process of restarting. In fact, we already restarted with the Mizoram Premier League under 18, which was concluded last evening. We are planning to start the Mizoram Women's League from this month, from the month of May, but we are keeping it a halt because what, let's not rush. Let's wait for the new season, which begins from the 1st of June, and with the proper planning, let's start a major women's league. This is going to be the third version of the Mizoram Women's League. Even though we have had a kind of a league, come knockout tournaments all those years, but the proper league structure was, I mean, we only had it for 2 seasons. But as I said, I mean, as you said in the beginning, as you mentioned in the beginning, the importance of I mean, of starting a league was shown in the recently completed uh, National Senior Women's Championship, in which Mizoram,
Senior women's, yeah.
for the first time, we reached the semi-finals. It is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
again the product of the league structure, which you have already mentioned at the beginning.
And how do you see to this sub-junior elite leagues organized by All India Football Federation in order to provide a platform to the younger players? We saw they start the women's under 17 league as well post COVID.
We have to catch them, yeah. If you look at the major football nation in the country, I mean, in the world, they started as young as 6, 7, 8. But if you look at the present Indian women's team, if you ask them if they can, if they give you their honest answer, most of them will have the serious training maybe at the age of 12, 13, 14, if not 15, 16. We start very late. So if we really want to grow in football, we have to start from the young. It's like a traditional education where you have to start from a kindergarten. But in Indian football, we only started post 10 years, 12 years, or maybe in the teens. Now AIFF starting a junior league for the girls. This will only help the growth of girls football and women's football in India.
And now, before I wrap up, my last question is to you. And a lot of fans watching this, they also want to know it. The rise of Mizoram, especially, has been immense in the mainstream of Indian football. Throw some light on the grassroots level development that is prevailing in the state.
We were very fortunate to be the first Indian state to start a proper grassroots setup because the AIFF grassroots pilot project was started in Mizoram 2012. It was under the guidance of the then technical director of the AIFF, Mr. Robban from the Netherlands. He came to Mizoram when he saw the youngsters playing in the ground. He said that why not start the grassroots activities here? It was a FIFA grassroots course which was conducted in Mizoram in 2012, and those trainers who train out of the FIFA course, they were sent to different districts. We started our own grassroots centers. One of the products of our first grassroots batch is a player called Terina Namde who played for uh, East Bengal at the ISL this
East
season.
Bengal,
He
yeah.
debuted
Yeah.
now, I mean, I saw that he signed for Mohun Bagan. A project of our grassroots system, which started in 2012, is now already playing in the ISL, and he has now switched from one of the giants of Indian football from East Bengal to Mohun Bagan. That is one of the success story of our grassroots setup. But he is just the fortunate ones. There are other players who do not get the breakthrough. But if we keep on continue in developing these kind of grassroots centers, hopefully we will be able to produce more of such players. And having said that, proper grassroots training requires proper coach education as well. This is the area in which we are still lagging behind, and we are trying our best to uplift the level of coach education in our state. If you want to have a good student, if you want to have a good student, you need to have a good teacher. It is not only
Exactly.
in the case of Mizoram, even for Pan India, we need better coaches, we need better coaching education. We need to invest more in coach education so that we can have a better product altogether.
It was an absolute pleasure having you on our show, Mr. Hamad. Thanks for joining us. And now we will go back to the ground where live action coming up your way. Stay tuned. Well, the champions of Kerala start their title defence, and Gokulam lived the dream last time around with a phenomenal league season record and an ability to see out games. Their fifth match is against a side who have lost 3 of their 4 matches. They look decent this season in a way on paper. Lost a few names, but Mata Rukmani Football Club have also recruited a lot of new talents. Well, Keralites like extravaganza, but last time out Gokulam played an attractive brand of football. This time it remains the same old for them. Well, the players have been part of the national setup and they know how important this competition is. They have good local team players too and have won the league previously. They know how to deal with the pressure and the competitive situation, so that is key for them. A footballing philosophy, Gokulam Kerala have focused on the tenets of a successful club for the women's side as well. The defending champions and one of the most established team in the mix, Gokulam, will be under the spotlight from the outset. From Anthony Andrews' perspective, the holders' game plan is ready. Total football with each player adapting to different positions and styles. But at the same time, they will not forget what the philosophy of the club is. The players, they are smart, can quickly adapt and implement it. But it also depends on the opponents and how they react to the style. Anthony Andrews, the head coach of Gokulam Kerala, he looked confident while talking to us. Let's find out.
It's very important for us to keep this going, because now after 2-3 games we have tough games coming up. We're going to put everything on the ground and let's see how it goes. Still a long way to go.
You'll be facing Mata Rukmani today. What do you make of them?
Mata Rukmani is a young team. They are very hunger to progress every game. We will progress from our last game. We will try to minimize our mistakes in the defensive unit and take one game.
Now let's get into the team news of Gokulam Kerala Football Club. The holders, on the other hand, Gokulam is the team to look out for. Got a very strong defense in Samiksha and Ashalata Devi. Both are going to man that center. Manisha Kalyan and Dangmei Grace continuing. In midfield, they have Kashmina, who will look to stabilize the central region. El Shaddai and Dangmei Grace, the old-timers, starts as usual. It is a 4-2-3-1 deployed by Anthony Andrews. They have started the league with a streak of wins and recovered quickly from a minor setback in the last game of conceding a goal. It is that consistency of getting points, getting results, that will matter. They start the season really well by winning the KWL, and now it's all about building on to that momentum. Aditi Chauhan, Manju Baby and Wintan, great options to have, who can always come on and cause some real issues. And Mata Rukmani, the debutants, come from an ashram in Bastar district of Chhattisgarh, which aims to promote talented local girls through the beautiful game. And this will be their 5th foray into the Hero Indian Women's League, having won the Chhattisgarh League twice in 2020 and 2022 respectively. And despite existing in the shadows of big cities and all the odds, Mata Rukmani Football Club vowed to achieve the unthinkable and has found a way to represent them in the National League without having proper facilities in their town. And back in the ashram, these brave hearts don't have the access to training grounds as well, as they don't have proper booths, diets, fancy kits, but that doesn't stop them to follow their passion for the game. Sandeep Singh will look to build onto the 3-2 win in the last game against Hans Women Football Club. Let's see what he has to say.
It's going to be an interesting game. The girls are actually looking forward to this game since the fixtures are called up.
And how excited are the girls after their first win?
A victory is always good for the morale, and it is also a proof that they belong to this level. Now let's see how we perform into this.
Now over to the away side, Mata Rukmani, and let's have a look at their team sheet for this crucial tie. And finally 2 changes in the formation. The back 4 with Pinky Kashyap shifting to the right side of defense, and Naina Jal stays on the left. Lakshmi Mandavi getting a start and will sit in midfield. She will be with Payal and Vandana Dhruv, who will go higher and wider on the pitch, and that leaves Priyanka Futon and Ripika to venture forward, which is what they need, and Kiran Pisda is up front on his own. So many times we've seen the obvious done with the team shapes, and this one does promise a lot more balance and a lot more fluidity as well. As for Sandeep Singh, knows that his side is much better than what they have produced. Pinky Kashyap is back in the 11 after a layoff for one of those 4 changes made by Sandeep Singh, and her creativity could spark good things for the likes of Vandana Dhruv and Futon. Gokulam Kerala's win this evening will put more pressure on the chasing pack. It's going to be taking them to 15 points, and Mata Rukmani could reach to 7th. A victory will take them to 6 points and make the top spot race a lot more interesting. For Mata Rukmani, Alisha is on the bench along with Preeti Bhakte and Tanvi Kore. For Mata Rukmani, Gokulam Kerala can also bank on Geeta Kashyap wanting to play some part. The match officials for today's game, the referee is Chitrambada Patra, going to be assisted by Sheshadev Behera and Bashudev Pal. The 4th official is N. Kurumia, and match commissioner Sudeshna Mukherjee. And Gokulam Kerala did feature in the AFC Women's Asia Cup and failed to reach the quarter-final in a way that entire youth setup and that continuously supplies a lot of talents to the first 11. It is an example for a lot of clubs in India as how they managed to do that. And earlier there used to be a youth setup, but there was no youth structure. But today All India Football Federation has come up with a youth structure, the youth level, with the under 13, under 15 and under 18s, and all these teams participate in that local talent hunts, and they try. That is something we want Indian football to go through. Well, in terms of the preseason, a lot of chatter about the number of transfers they got, and not just from abroad but even from within India. And one of them is the Ghanaian striker El Shaddai, who is starting this game, and Winton, she's on the bench, and surely we will see her as the season progresses. And there is Dangmei Grace and Manisha Kalyan as well, who's made a ripple in the Hero Indian Women's League for Gokulam. An excellent player to watch. The referee with the 2 captains. The Gokulam Kerala skipper, Dangmei Grace, scored a wonderful hat-trick against Odisha Police. Gokulam Kerala winning it 12-0, their biggest victory of the season so far. But the player to watch out for is going to be the number 12 with golden blonde of hair, Manisha Kalyan. She is the top goal scorer in the ongoing edition of the Hero Indian Women's League with 9 goals. And El Shaddai is the second highest scorer jointly with Durar Marandi of SSB Women, both of them on 5 goals. Over the course of the first game, so just a tiny teaser because the teams strengthen and the teams form, reshape and tactics. It takes a completely different approach as well in terms of how they go about winning games. As for Gokulam Kerala, it is time for them to learn winning. A title is probably easier than defending one. Well, familiar face last time out. I know that Gokulam Kerala fans don't want to be reminded of this, but they have walked out. Last time they had El Shaddai in their ranks, and so many times she provided that spark which was required to turn something which looked like a draw into winning occasions. This time she's on the bench, and it's always difficult to replace such a talismanic player. But new talents, new finds will surely replace in any league, in any part of the world. For Gokulam Kerala, scouting is something. They have got a lot of plaudits in. They use a lot of analytics, in fact. Speaking with some of the officials in terms of how they go about picking players and using the statistics they come upon, they shortlist and quickly contact the person in charge and get their signings on board. Whether they can get it right for one more season is what will be really interesting to see. We are all set then with match number 25, and we are underway here at the Capital Ground. And Gokulam Kerala, the champions against the newcomers who have just gained momentum. And they will look to play with renewed vigour in the Hero Indian Women's League. An early header from El Shaddai. There could have been a goal within the opening 12 seconds. This is the area where Mata Rukmani got to be really very careful. El Shaddai with an excellent leap. She will look to exploit her height time and again. It was a teasing delivery from the right. Dalima Chibber is one of those players who can be really very menacing with the crosses. As Gokulam Kerala also welcome backs Samiksha in the lineup. She is playing in central defense alongside Ashalata Devi, as Ritu Rani, their regular starter, is on the bench as Anthony Andrews deciding to regroup the side. He started that rotation policy in the team to keep every player's match fit. It's a very good sign, and you can do the audacious. You have the luxury, especially when you have such a depth in your squad. There is Samiksha playing it short to Dalima Chibber. Gokulam Kerala will look to extend their winning run to 15 in a row. As Mata Rukmani just woken up from the ashes of shattered dreams and will look to play a spoil sport. So we welcome you then to the Sunday evening blockbuster here at the Capital Ground. Mata Rukmani just continuing with their 4-4-3. 4-3-3, pardon me. We'll come back to that. And Gokulam Kerala with a very safe and sound 4-2-3-1, a system which has provided them plenty of joy since the Kerala Women's League campaign. It has 4 defenders and 2 defensive midfielders, 3 attacking midfielders and 1 striker. And El Shaddai is very much the target man up top. And there is Soumya. She is another exciting player, making way for Karishma to start in the previous one. And she also grabbed her opportunities with both hands, winning the Hero of the Match award, and also scored a goal and provided 1 assist. Manisha Kalyan swings her left foot, and it has ended into the back of the net. And no celebration from the Gokulam Kerala players. You can see the smile on her face. And we have the opening goal within the first 2.5 minutes. Here at the Capital Ground is Manisha Kalyan completing her 10th goal of this campaign. The Indian women's football icon Bala Devi is the all-time top goal scorer in the history of the league. She scored 35 goals in 2 seasons. And Manisha Kalyan will be giving her a tough fight. She is on to 10 already with 6 matches remaining. Dangmei Grace. Ball played infield, falling short of Kashmina, eventually cleared by a Mata Rukmani player. The back 4 gives the width for the team, either in or out of possession. The 2 holding midfielders covers the space in front of the centre backs, and creative midfielders, they have enough cover behind the back to show their individual skills with the ball. And look at that, so much perfection on both her feet. She's a terrier up top. We saw her causing a lot of issues for PIFA in the last game as well, with her long strides and quick set of heels, getting into the area in the blink of an eye and sending in those fiery low crosses. And such an exciting player, Manisha Kalyan. So much quality in her that makes her stand out in the field of play. She is among the new breed of Indian women's footballers that falls in the club of Bala Devi. El Shaddai using her upper body strength. Gokulam Kerala, 1 more build up down the right hand side. Room for the cross. It's a low one towards El Shaddai and quickly marshalled by Nilima. The Mata Rukmani skipper, relentless pressure applied by Gokulam Kerala right from the off. This is Kashmina. A straight pass into Dangmei Grace, layoff for Kashmina. Kashmina goes for the glory and tipped over by Meena Kashyap. It's going to be a corner kick for Gokulam Kerala, and you simply just cannot take your eyes off this game. As the Malabarians off to a breakneck start. El Chadai with a lovely 1-2 Dalima Chiba. In-swing floater towards the goal mouth. And the target was Manisha Kalyan again. A cross was slightly overhit. And Mata Rukmani Football Club, they'll have to endure this spell. They tasted incredible success, registered their first ever victory in the history of the league by defeating Hans Women Football Club from Delhi by 3-2. It was a 5-goal thriller. An absolute nail-biting finish in the end. Reet Kashyap, Priyanka and Ripika got on the score sheet. Even though the number 7 Priyanka and Reet Kashyap is not starting this game, but Reet Kashyap surprisingly in a deep role, marshalling the defense, spearing alongside Nilima. She will eventually have to give up her comfort in midfield. And sometimes you got to do that for the sake of the team, where players are utilized in multiple positions by the head coaches. Rit Kashyap is a very, very versatile player. And when you have such a trusted player in a lineup, you always become a coach's first choice kind of player. Here is El Chadai trying to make inroads. Dangmei Grace from the edge of the area. Comfortable on this occasion for Meena Kashyap. She is already beaten once in the opening 7 minutes. El Chadai will be licking her fingers. She has pointed out the weakness in Mata Rukmani's defense already. Will try to score as many. Dalima Chibba, the right full back, she likes to overlap. She likes to attack. Very comfortable on the ball, and now she is out of position, and it's been exploited by Mata Rukmani in a quick exchange up top. Ball played in the middle, and Ashalata Devi with a very, very crucial interception. Gokulam Kerala got to be very careful. They conceded in the last game against PIFA when Nisilia scored a wonderful diving header from the left hand side. One more cross from Soumya. It's too high and not in play though. The intended target, without a shadow of a doubt, was Manisha Kalyan. She was making an intriguing run towards the back post. A bright idea and not proper execution. There's a long clearance, heavy touch, capitalized by Kashmina, out of reach of Lakshmi Mandavi. They managed to get the feel of the ball though. There's that exchange from Priyanka Futon, but no player in yellow and black present apart from her. She is surrounded by 6 Gokulam Kerala players. It's going to be very, very difficult for her to make any dent in the Gokulam Kerala defense until and unless she gets enough support from her midfield. And this is Chibar again, and available wide on the far right. Has got Ratan Bala Devi inside her, and she has been picked. Ratan Bala Devi looks up once, chooses Kashmina's run. Kashmina has got Ashalata Devi to her left and has been picked. Ashalata has got Sonali out wide. She chooses Dangmei Grace instead. Dangmei Grace pass is not the one to remember. And quickly latching onto it is a player in yellow and black, and that is Mata Rukmani's number 10, Priyanka Futon. El Chadai, lot of space on the right, looks towards Soumya. A give and go is open. Ratan Bala Devi is shaping up for a long shot, choosing Manisha Kalyan instead. Manisha Kalyan lays it back. Kashmina, nicely cut out there by the number 5, Pinky Kashyap. Dalima again. Gokulam on the move. A player is down, but play continues. And now it's been called back. In fact, it's Kashmina. She is injured. Looks like a knee injury. Slightly wincing in pain. She needs immediate treatment. Centre backs are really protected in defence, and so they have enough time and space to mark the opponent strikers. The two full-backs, they have enough space to help the attacks on the flanks by overlapping the two wide midfielders, and this may create 2v1 situation on the flank and may be used to get behind the opposition's defence. This was the only goal separating the two teams so far. Manisha Kalyan, Gokulam Kerala's elite player, opening the score line within the opening 3 minutes. An early celebration from Gokulam Kerala. And Kashmina looks like a serious injury. She's been taken out. And a change might be needed for Gokulam Kerala. We'll have to wait for Anthony Andrews' decision. And Gokulam Kerala down to 10 players momentarily. There's a long ball. Easy for Sonali to head it away. Threaded along the floor. A chase is on. And Shreya leaving her mark when she was supposed to. As I've mentioned, Anthony Andrews deciding to rotate the squad, which is why you can see Aditi Chauhan is on the bench. The India international. And Shreya getting a start. Sonali. Good to see Kashmina. Samiksha. Ratan Baladevi. And Gokulam getting a change ready. So Kashmina will play no further part in this game. Gokulam Kerala would not be too much worried about it. They've got plenty of players to replace her. Even the reserve bench could be of playing 11 of any other team that participated in the Hero Indian Women's League. And this time a Mata Rukmani player is down. As I have spoken about Gokulam Kerala's bench, they are as good as any team is playing 11. Can you imagine a player like Winton is on the bench, the number 7? She could potentially be the automatic choice of any team in the playing 11. A card as well is out, and free kick for Gokulam Kerala. And Dalima Chibber also with a strap. Maybe not 100% fit to feature in this game, but still, for the sake of her team, she's gone through a treatment table to get involved in this game as Manju Baby replacing Kashmina. Another product of Gokulam Kerala's youth setup, Manju Baby. Here's Manju straight away with few passes, a few touches, and rolling it forward for El Shaddai. A tad too heavy, that grounder. The double pivot system in Gokulam's midfield with Ratan Bala and Manju is key for the 4-2-3-1 formation. El Shaddai now attacking the byline, takes it onto her right side, finds Samiksha. She goes for the curler, tried to curl it towards the second post. First quarter of an half and gone. It's Gokulam Kerala who are on the lead, the defending champions. A goal kick taken short. This is Nana. Gokulam snap up possession. El Shaddai, the perfect setup there from Dangmei Grace. And the ball eventually falling behind Dangmei and away from the Mata Rukmani defense. Samiksha Sonali. Just tucking in slightly, the number 31. Otherwise, she would have gotten to the ball. Ratnbala. Gokulam Khela trying to unlock Mata Rukmani's left channel. And Dalima Chiba leading by example. Chiba with the ball in no man's land and eventually trickles out for a goal kick. Slightly lacking in coordination on this occasion. Continuing to stay higher up the pitch. Now the high press applied by Gokulam. Leading the press was Dangmei Grace, and now El Shaddai eventually taking the ball away. Ratnbala Devi. Manju. Dalima. Down the line into the channel for Soumya. It's a deep cross and it's gone in straight away. And can you believe it? Make no mistake, it was a shot. And it has gone in. We all thought she would send in a cross for Manisha Kalyan and El Shaddai, as both the players making their presence felt inside the box. She takes the shot, in fact. And the goalkeeper Meena Kashyap doesn't deal with it. And it's 2-0 for Gokulam Kerala. Within the first 17 minutes. It's getting from bad to worse for Mata Rukmani. A lot of goals are in store for us this evening. Seems like it is turning out to be a one-way traffic. Like the other games that Gokulam Kerala have played apart from that outing against ARA, where they struggled to score in the first half. Managed to win by only 2 goals. Dalima Chibber, fronted by Naina Jol. Dalima Chibber, wonderful footwork. Left 2 behind. There's a teasing ball for Manisha. She's interested, and so is Soumya. Manisha Kalyan will retrieve it and set up Dalima in a crossing position. Dalima looks up once and delivers towards the back post, nodded back in the middle by El Shaddai. Still El Shaddai. A goal-mouth chaos in the end. And a corner kick for Gokulam Kerala. Corner taken short, El Shaddai. Dalima. A perfect angle for the cross. It's a low one. Might be a follow-up shot from the number 10 off the woodwork, and El Shaddai makes it 3-0. Excellent combination play. And the follow-up shot taken by Ratnbala. That was the low cross from Dalima Chibber, and then the follow-up shot coming off the woodwork. And El Shaddai making no mistake in placing it in from such a close range. And finally the Ghanaian scoring her 6th of this competition. It's 19 minutes on the clock. 3-0 in favor of Gokulam Kerala. A pass slightly long for Ratnbala, but she manages to adjust as there was no player in red and black in and around the area. A ball played into the channel out of El Shaddai's reach. A goal kick for Mata Rukmani. There are a number of new teams in the ongoing Hero Indian Women's League that we have witnessed, but there is one among them that has come through the league with a motto that says, "We can and we will," as something that typifies them as one of the many superheroes of Indian football. And the debutants Mata Rukmani come from an ashram in Bastar district of Chhattisgarh, which aims to promote talented local girls. And Dalima Chibber now
Coming to the left, supporting Manisha Kalyan. Manisha Kalyan, room for the cross, sent in with good pace. Not the greatest of the connections from Soumya. Just couldn't guide it goalwards. And the Padma Shri Dharmapal Saini, a freedom fighter, had started the Mata Rukmani Devi Ashram back in 1976. Dedicated to girls' education and well-being in a state where people in the villages used to believe that educating a girl was just a wastage of time and money. And he took up the challenge to start the ashram with 8 girls, and now more than 3,000 girls are based in the ashram. Besides several academic achievements, sports were almost included in their day-to-day regime, football being one of them. And Dharmapal Saini, fondly known as Tauji, was himself an athlete in his early days, and when he saw the girls with stamina, he started preaching yoga and then went ahead with other sports such as kabaddi, marathon running, and archery and football. He believes that his girls can be good in education, they can also be good in sports as well, and so encourage them to play as much they want. And this is the reason they are representing their state in the Hero Indian Women's League. Despite existing in the shadows of big cities and all the odds, Mata Rukmani vowed to achieve the unthinkable, and they have really found a way to represent them in the National League without having proper facilities in their town. And there's a change being made by Mata Rukmani. Sulekha, the number 15, will be coming on, replacing Naina Jal, the left back. She started against Hans in the last game. Deflection off the goalkeeper. She fumbles and is cleared off the line finally. And nearly Gokulam Kerala's 4th goal of this evening. It is turning out to be a rout, ladies and gentlemen. At the Capital Ground, goals are raining. A team from God's own country, stamping their authority in the league right from the beginning. It's going to be the 5th straight victory that will take them to 15 points. The goalkeeper Meena was under a lot of pressure because El Shaddai was just lurking around. And the number 15, she likes to score goals. And whenever she's on the field of play, just puts on her scoring boots. She loves scoring goals in bulk. Whenever she scores many. I remember her scoring 7 hat-tricks in the Kerala Women's League. Ridiculous numbers. She's made it a habit of scoring almost 6 goals on average in every game during the scoreline Kerala Women's League. One of the top strikers of the league, Elizabeth the Skanian, is also one of them. Dalima Chibba digs it out for Ratan Bala. Away from one, Ratan Bala onto her left foot. This is going to be the 2nd goal for El Shaddai. And this time the flag stayed down and the goal will stand. Doubling her tally, El Shaddai. Taking her to goal number 7 of this campaign, and Gokulam Kerala's goal number 4 of this evening. And the shot eventually ricocheting down the chest of the goalkeeper. Ratan Bala's a shot. There's the keeper making a mistake in collecting it, ricocheting off her chest and falling into the path of El Shaddai. Manisha Kalyan, Dangmei Grace, Manisha again, one-on-one with Pinky, easily going past her, Dangmei Grace. Sonali operating from the right. Sulekha with a wonderful sliding challenge. Trying to come away with the ball. Mata Rukmani. Dalima just getting caught in possession. A misplaced pass, El Shaddai, and there's gonna be a foul and free kick for Mata Rukmani. The head coach Sandeep Singh mentioned that the girls love football and love playing football, and they are elated to participate in such a big tournament, and also excited to play against big teams such as the Indian Arrows, who has the best players, Gokulam Kerala, Setu FC, and they are really working hard to come here and show their true selves. The most important thing for the girls is to have this experience of being able to talk and learn from the best in the country. And these girls did not have a life, and they used to walk around 7-8 kilometers daily in search of water. But now some of the girls have taken up government jobs as well. And they are excited to compete, as it is the first time they are participating in such a big platform with all the facilities around food, diet, training, good grounds. These are the girls who live in the jungles and haven't seen all of them. Manisha Kalyan, she's got space to exploit, and El Shaddai completes her hat-trick. Seems like it is the quickest hat-trick scored in this edition of the Hero Indian Women's League. Manisha Kalyan sloppy defending from Pinky, taking her time on the ball. Manisha, beautiful setup for El Shaddai, and 5-0 for Gokulam. A hat-trick for El Shaddai, almost as if they're playing a training game. Gokulam Kerala. Referee has blown the whistle for the drinks break. Chitram Badapatra. Gokulam Kerala 5-0 up. Still about 15 minutes of regulation time remaining in this half. And where this is gonna end is the question. And Kashmir, as you can see, her leg heavily strapped with bandages and ice. A knee injury sometimes can be very dangerous, especially for players whose games are based on speed. Anthony Andrews in discussion with Manisha Kalyan. They clearly want to have a better goal difference. They've already scored 34 goals and conceded only one, a goal difference of +3. About more than 60 minutes remaining in this game. Expecting it to end in double digits. It's going to be guaranteed humiliation for Mata Rukmani. They started their campaign with a 6-1 defeat against Setu Madurai on 16th April, and then lost narrowly against Odisha Police on 20th April. Back on the 24th, and they lost 7-1 to SSB Women. But their last game in their build-up to facing Gokulam Kerala, they defeated Hans Women by 3-2. Manju, Ratan Bala Devi, Dalima, Manisha. Dalima just deciding to combine with Manisha Kalyan, the two India internationals, the two teammates. having a great time on the left hand side, allowing Sonali to operate down the right and combine with Soumya. And there she is, helps it on towards the number 19. Mata Rukmani clears. The clearance is only as far as Ratan Bala. Samiksha, Gokulam looking to rebuild. Excellent leave. Ratan Bala. And now cross sent in. Easily headed away by Reeth. Manju. Dalima. And down the line for Manisha Kalyan. Manisha Kalyan nicely done. On the overlap, Dalima chip, but this time with her left foot. El Shaddai getting there ahead of a marker. Still twisting and turning. And then the shot deflected behind for a corner. Sulekha with that all-important touch. Preventing the danger for her side. Only in the form of a corner kick though. Going up for it, Manisha Kalyan nodded back in the area. A header from El Shaddai had no power. Her hat-trick taking her to 8 goals. Manisha Kalyan scoring 10, El Shaddai on 8. Both the players plays for Gokulam Kerala. They are topping the top scorers list. And out of the total 34 scored by Gokulam Kerala, and 18 of them are scored by El Shaddai and Manisha Kalyan. Mata Rukmani on the flip side managed to score just 5 goals. They have conceded 21. They've been very, very porous, except the last game, where they conceded only 2 against Mata Rukmani. There's Kashmina, shifting it to the right. Sonali, Soumya, El Shaddai is there in the box. A challenge from Payal. Finding Soumya to the right corner of the penalty area. Well taken by Meena Kashyap this time. Manisha Kalyan and Dalima Chibbar making the decoy run into spaces. Dalima. Not a lot of distance on the cross. And managing to put it behind for a corner. Corner number 6 for Gokulam. They will be looking for their goal number 6 from this corner. Manju. And after winning the last game, the head coach Sandeep Singh, he quipped the victory was for her girls, and they are a very young squad with 3 15-year-olds starting in the playing 11. Sulekha, Ripika and Pinky, the oldest one in their squad, is 20 years old, and they are getting to learn a lot from these matches. He also is very thankful to the Odisha government and the All India Football Federation for organizing the tournament with such good facilities and almost discipline. In early days, they used to coach the girls through television, watching Messi and Ronaldo, as they did not have any proper coaches, but these girls started to perform well and got coaches who helped them to nurture more. A header from Samiksha, she went up for it, and now shot from the edge of the area, hitting the woodwork and goes behind for a goal kick. Dangmei Grace, the skipper, picking up the loose pieces on the edge of the penalty area. Look at that, selling one dummy to Priyanka Futan and then getting it out of her feet, hitting the crossbar. Manisha Kalyan in support is El Shaddai ahead of her. El Shaddai's slight guide towards Dangmei Grace. Joining forces in attack, Gokulam Kerala. Ashalata Devi. Now towards Manisha Kalyan once again. Hitting the woodwork, Manisha. Ashalata Devi with an excellent slide rule ball for Manisha Kalyan. And the goalkeeper just taking her hands off it. And eventually the bar on this occasion comes to her rescue. Dalima. Manisha Kalyan running into a defender, and this time cleared away by Reet Kashyap. A hero of the match in the previous game, Reet scored a wonderful goal from 22 yards out. Here's the free kick expert, Dalima. A good height on the ball towards El Shaddai. I couldn't quite control it, the Ghanaian. No action on the opposite end of the pitch. Attempted cross is blocked. A throw in for El Shaddai. She's got defenders at her back. One way then the other. Still El Shaddai surrounded by 5 yellow and black shirts. Ashalata Devi. Swung in by Ashalata. Again, a clattering of the woodwork. Manisha Kalyan sent in a cross, and the header has gone into the back of the net. And half a dozen for Gokulam Kerala. A brace for Somia as well. There it is, Manisha Kalyan leaving it for Dalima Chibba with one of her pinpoint crosses. This time with her left foot. Just guiding the ball in the back of the net. Somia makes it 6-0 for Gokulam. Another chip giveaway to Samiksha. Toying with Mata Rukmani so far. A chibber into the channel was Manisha Kalyan. And now Dangmei Grace, excellent ball control. Superb to watch. The ball skill from Dangmei Grace. And all the players in this Gokulam Kerala setup so skillful. Ashalata Devi gets the give and go going. Somia. And this time just failing to keep it in play. A goal kick for Mata Rukmani. The incidence of a true number 6 is missing in Mata Rukmani's midfield. And Lakshmi Mandavi not been able to get her footing in the game so far. The full-backs are covered when going forward, as the deepest sitting midfielders can filter across and cover the holes should the opponent try to exploit them. It provides lots of passing options and a real chance to exert dominance over the opposition. The 4-3-3 sees as many as 4-5 players open and monitoring for the ball at one time. Chiba quickly closed down there by Lakshmi. Ratnbala, Dangmei Grace, Soumya from the corner of the penalty area, low cross. El Shaddai tried that clever black flick off a defender in the end. That was that quick black flick from the Ghanaian. Just taking deflection off a yellow and black shirt. Sonali with the corner. It's flat. Breaks for the number 11, Dangmei Grace. Is still bobbing in the area. And finally cleared by Sulekha. Manju. Trying to run the ball up the pitch. Dalima Chibar, Manisha Kalyan. Making up good ground, Manisha Kalyan. She is double teamed now. I can't find a cross there. Eventually had to come inside. Ashalata Devi. Soumya. Soumya keeps going. The cross is a disappointing one. It's a corner kick for Gokulam. With less than 3 minutes of regulation time remaining in this half. 6 goals already. Hat-trick from El Shaddai, brace from Manisha Kalyan. Brace from Soumya, pardon me. Manisha Kalyan with 1 goal. Soumya also interested for her hat-trick. Just had to keep the header on target. And 81-19 is the ball possession. And that's a total dominance, 20 shots taken. And they are tormenting Mata Rukmani. There's absolutely no match between Gokulam and the rest of the teams. Sethu Madurai, safe to say, is one of the teams who can put up at least a fight against Gokulam. Ratnbala from distance hits the advertisement board. El Shaddai taken away. She's clipped. Soumya will definitely draw a foul in Gokulam Kerala's favour. Just a minute of regulation time remaining. There's gonna be a few minutes added on as well. And free kick for Gokulam Kerala. Supposedly 3 minutes gonna be added on in the first half. Manisha Kalyan, she scored 2 goals already in this campaign with her left foot. In the previous game as well against PIFA, she scored with her left. Manisha Kalyan takes it, good dip on it, and just a telling touch, it all needed. In fact, both of El Shaddai and Dalima Chiba couldn't get on the end of that delivery. El Chadai. Dangmei Grace, Ashalata. How often do you see her playing in such an advanced role as Ashalata? Now drifting onto the channel. A ball sent in. El Chadai with the header. And getting enough on the ball in the end. Meena Kashyap. And Mata Rukmani surviving from conceding the 7th. A cross from Ashalata Devi. A header from El Chadai. And now a player is lying down injured. And that is Kiran Pisda. And she scored against SSB. And Reet Kashyap of Mata Rukmani, she is also on 2 goals. Her first goal against that 6-1 defeat into the hands of Sethu. And she scored in the last game as well. And the goalkeeper had to stretch to good effect to keep that one out. A minute and a half remaining in this half. Header from Manisha. A side netting. And Gokulam Kerala winning 11 corners in the first half, and Manisha Kalyan with that high press. The player completely fumbling. Reet Kashyap, Manisha Kalyan again. Her low ball in. A first time clearance from the defenders. Another shot which is dragged wide. And now we are into the final minute of the first half. Between Gokulam Kerala and Mata Rukmani Football Club. Samiksha dropping over. It has gone out. So half time then at the Capital Ground between Gokulam Kerala and Mata Rukmani. The holders go into the break with a 6-0 lead. And that was quite expected. And the first half hat-trick from El Chadai, a brace from Soumya. And Manisha Kalyan also chipping in with a goal. It's been a goal fest in the first half. And it has ended 6-0 in favour of Gokulam Kerala. The defending champions will look to extend the lead as much as they can in the second 45 minutes. These are the match stats. 81% possession kept by Gokulam, 25 shots, 12 on target, having won 11 corner kicks in the first half. And now let's have a look at the number of shots taken by Gokulam. 25 in the first half, 7 by El Chadai. Soumya with 4, Manisha Kalyan with 4. And Dalima Chibba, Dangmei Grace, Ratan Bala and Samiksha with 2 each. No shots taken by Mata Rukmani Football Club in the first half. They were busy defending with hands on deck. Only one foul committed by Gokulam. El Chadai is the player. And now let's have a look at the number of fouls committed by Mata Rukmani. Only 2, Vandana Dhruv and Naina Jal with 1 each. And now let's have a look at the first half highlights, the goals especially. Manisha Kalyan, and this is how the things all started. Peels away in space and then rifling it into the back of the net. And then Dalima Chibber and Soumya with a pinpoint cross. It has gone in, turning out to be a shot. Goalkeeper doesn't deal with it. Dalima Chibber with a low ball. A shot from Ratan Bala off the woodwork and El Shaddai making it 3-0. The in-swing swerve was towards the goal mouth. Ratan Bala, there she is, opening up her body. Comfortable for El Shaddai. Taking it onto her left side, and then the keeper fumbles and El Shaddai scoring her second, making it 4-0. There's Ratan Bala, shuffling onto her left foot. And then the fifth one, Manisha Kalyan capitalizing on that poor defending, putting it on a platter for El Shaddai, who says thank you very much, and makes it 5-0 and completes her hat-trick as well. Dalima Chibber this time with a weak left foot, still a pinpoint cross, and nicely meted though by Soumya, scoring her second, goal number 6 for her team. Don't go anywhere, we will come back after the short break. Welcome back to the live coverage of the Hero Indian Women's League from the capital ground in Bhubaneswar. It's 6-0 at the break, and Gokulam Kerala off the blocks too soon, and Mata Rukmani failed to ride the wave of Gokulam's wave of attacks, and all to play for in the second half. A title is there on the line as Gokulam Kerala makes a change. Their second change, in fact, as the number 30 Manasa comes in, replacing Soumya. Mata Rukmani also making a change as Priyanka Kashyap comes in for Kiran. Both the managers making a change each early in the second half. Gokulam Kerala, they are at the top of the table, the defending champions. These are the two changes I was talking about. One of them is going to be Mansa, the number 30, and the number 28, Reshma. Mata Rukmani, even though they got a win against Hans Women Football Club, many believe Mata Rukmani have not been tested so far. And playing Gokulam Kerala away from home, though, is a stern test, a test of character, a test of intent, and a test whether they deserve to stay at the Hero Indian Women's League. And Mata Rukmani probably itching to put all the critics to bed. And that, of course, is a very, very difficult task. However, they can make it easier for themselves. And Gokulam is really their first big test in the league. And against Sethu Madurai, they conceded 6, trailing by 6-0 in this game as well. And these players are coming from such remote areas, getting exposed to a different kind of tactics, getting experience of playing against top players of the country. Dalima Chibber, she's been taken off, and in comes Reshma. Gokulam Kerala, the only Indian women's club to participate in the AFC Women's Club Championship, ended their campaign on a high as they defeated Uzbekistan's Bunyotka 3-1 at the Aqaba Development Corporated Stadium in Jordan. They led 1-0 at the break and added 2 more goals in the second half, while Bunyotka scored a consolation. And Gokulam, who lost both their earlier games, finished third with 3 points from as many matches in 4-team competition. And here they come again early in the second half. El Shaddai. As Soumya makes her way into the box. She is on a hat-trick. Ratan Bala, Manju, Reshma. They have the ball back. Mata Rukmani gives it back as well. Can't retain control for too long. Soumya El Shaddai continues with her run. A defender steps across. El Shaddai stops the ball, getting support from Ratan Bala. Stays strong there, riding the challenge. Ratan Bala joining in the attack is Samiksha, and now Reshma. Her attempted cross is blocked. Now this is Priyanka Kashyap. Scored in the last game against Hans. Reet, Priyanka and Ripika. She's been uneventful in this game so far. Now the number 11. Now plays it forward. Priyanka Easily defended there by Sonali. Playing it back to Shreya. Samiksha. Gokulam building up move from behind. Reshma. A very uncharacteristic loose pass from Reshma. Just playing the ball in space. Far too ahead of Priyanka. Reshma kept in play. Samiksha and El Shaddai just too much pace on the ball. She fails to control her balance. Reverse ball for Priyanka Futon. A flag went up. This is Sulekha. Recovering possession in the center circle. Gokulam Kerala. In the month of March, Gokulam created history by becoming the first team from the state to lift a National League title, having won the 2020-21 season's I-League. It is certainly a watershed moment in Kerala football, as the state, which has always produced good players, had lately been falling to create a good impression across the country. And going ahead, Gokulam Kerala's success, along with the presence of the Kerala Blasters in the ISL, it is very important for the development of the sport in the state. However, on the other hand, the current situation, the Yellow Army, is not so great, underwhelming. Would be too tame a word if one were to use it to describe how they fared. This season, though, they reached the final of the ISL, lost to Hyderabad. And almost all the football fans in Kerala will also know that there is some sort of a rivalry between Kerala Blasters and Gokulam Kerala. This is despite the fact that they play in different leagues. It is mainly due to them being the most prominent professional club from the state, while Kerala Blasters loyalists have often waged wars with their counterparts at Gokulam, and they think it is now time for them to sit down, think and learn a few good things from the I-League champions and also champions of the Hero Indian Women's League. Use the players and coaches that fit the system. With 9 coaches in 7 seasons, Kerala Blasters have never had a coach who stay on for longer than a year. This is far most dangerous than it may seem at the outset. And with different coaches, you always mean different style. Each of the 9 tacticians, they have piled their tread at the club at a varied approach to the game. One more move is developing for Gokulam Kerala. Laid back, as Samiksha will try her luck. It's too high. And the central defender can also play in midfield. Regular starter Ritu Rani, she has been rested. Priyanka, look how deep she is dropping to recover the ball for her team. Silky skills there from the number 7. Only 2 players in yellow and black up top, and now they all are dropping deep. In fact, all 10 of them back behind the ball, defending. This has been the pattern of most of the teams that have played against Gokulam Kerala this season in the Hero Indian Women's League. Taken away by El Shaddai. Samiksha. Helps it long. Vandana Dhruv. Sonali. Sending the ball into touch for a throw-in. Investing more in younger players, including them in long-term plans. The current Gokulam Kerala squad has more than a few players who have been with them for a long time, and apart from the foreigners and recent signings, the rest of the team knows each other pretty well. In addition, the Malabarians have used the reserve team exceedingly well to develop many talented players. And if you talk about the men's team, they have the likes of Emil Benny, Tahir Zaman, and the others initially cutting their teeth in the Gokulam Kerala reserve side before stepping up for the first team. When the second string team lifted the Kerala Premier League trophy in April, they themselves talented names like Rishad and Ganeshan narrowly missed out and getting selected to the I-League squad. Samiksha quickly closed in by Nilima. Priyanka Lakshmi Mandavi as well for Mata Rukmani, staying closer to defense, which is indeed creating a gap between her and Priyanka Kashyap in the middle of the park, and the wide midfielders eventually have to tuck infield to bridge that gap, allowing a lot of spaces to the opposition on the flanks. But Gokulam, they are equally efficient from attacking down the middle as well. When you talk about wing play, they've got Manisha Kalyan, they've got Dalima Chibba. At the same time, the players like Dangmei Grace, Ratan Bala can be very, very threatening from down the center as well for Gokulam Kerala. Samiksha. 3 touches into it. Reshma. Samiksha infield. Will play to the left. There's the cross. El Shaddai goes up for it. Manages to find Dangmei Grace, but the grounder. She has struck it wide. Yet to get on the score sheet in this game, Dangmei Grace. But she has scored 5 goals. A hat-trick against Odisha Police, followed by a brace against Hans Women Football Club. That was a 9-0 victory for Gokulam Kerala. Their second highest margin of win in the competition. And now Ripika Sonali is stepping in just at the right time. Under a bit of a pressure, Gokulam Kerala defense for the first time in this game. Lakshmi Mandavi. She takes the throw in for Mata Rukmani. Samiksha clears. El Shaddai driving Gokulam Kerala forward, slightly heavy touch and not managing to recover. A defender getting a foot in. And that's a fine through ball. Ripika is chasing. Shreya Huda and gets to it first. And now down the line, Gokulam Kerala comes again. El Shaddai is waiting in the middle. Ratnbala making a run through the center. Close to her is Samiksha. Finds the number 11, Dangmei Grace. Gives it into the penalty area to Soumya. Looks up once before delivering the cross. A very, very vital touch from Nilima. And a corner kick for Gokulam Kerala. It's going to be corner number 12 for the Malabarians. Sonali taking it. A nice distance on it. The keeper just punches the ball clear. Not too far though. Manasa. She fails to put it in the mix. And now a break could be on here. Manasa is striking back. But Mata Rukmani shifting wings. Ripika. She is up against Gokulam Kerala's Sonali. Sonali wins the individual duel. A couple of changes getting ready for Gokulam Kerala. Just at the hour mark here at the Capital Ground. No goals yet in the second half. The scoreline still reads 6-0 in favour of Gokulam. Manasa. Ratnbala. El Shaddai, she has completed her job already in the first half. And now this will allow time for the two changes. It's going to be Winton replacing El Shaddai. Her job is done and dusted. A loud cheer from Ranjana Chanu and Manisha Kalyan on the bench. And Jyoti also will be coming on the number 77. And Gokulam Kerala making all the 5 changes. Jyoti scored 17 goals in the scoreline Kerala Women's League. She was also the top goal scorer in the Mumbai Women's Football League before joining Gokulam. Very, very prolific, the number 77. Scored against Hunts Women Football Club, the team which is at the bottom of the points table in the Hero Indian Women's League this season. The side from Delhi, champions of the Football Delhi Women's League. Another team struggling in this competition is Mata Rukmani and Silverdam Sports Club of Goa. Gokulam Setu Madurai, SSB and Kickstart. All 5 of them title contenders. Sonali Winton with the first touch. Can't get the pass away. A clearance. A falling shot. Gokulam come back again. Remaining sturdy over there was Payal. For the Gokulam Kerala's team, and they are also in a 6 points lead compared to Modern Sporting in the I-League. And Alberto Vincenzo Vanese doing a wonderful job, the Italian. He lifted the title last season and this season as well. They are the favourites. During the off-season, he does visits the various inter-district matches and the local matches to spot talents. From their Durant Cup squad this season, Mohammad Uwais doing a remarkable job for the main team in the I-League, the left full-back. Same goes for the women's team as well. Anthony Andrews in charge, who started his journey with Minerva Punjab. Also awarded the AIFC's Coach of the Year. Loves playing attacking brand of football. It's been already peak season for Gokulam Kerala. Samiksha moves it forward straight to Sulekha. It's almost as if they're practicing from one end to the other. Sonali will take help from Shreya. Ashalata Devi. Spreading it to the left, Mansa can't reach it. A yellow shirt eventually reaching it. That was a fine ball. And great timing of that header. Chase from Jyoti. Jyoti beating her player for pace. Jyoti enters the box. She keeps going, creates room for the shot, and now it's still bobbing. And eventually foul. And that was the number 77. Getting the better of Sulekha. She got the full frame of the goal just when she was about to pull the trigger. Lost her balance and eventually pulled a yellow shirt down. Tried to take help of one of the yellow shirt to keep her balance intact. The referee was close to the incident and blowing the whistle for a foul. There's Ashalata Devi. Beautifully chested down by Jyoti. She's quickly outnumbered. Snatched away by Samiksha. Plays it to her defensive counterpart, Ashalata Devi. There's Manasa. Reshmi. Wintan. Ratan Bala. Samiksha. A nice one-touch build-up, but Dang may grace her one-touch slightly off the mark. A chance for Gokulam Kerala to rectify their error. Jyoti. One way then the other. Jyoti wrong footing. Sulekha. There's the free header. And it's gone in. And it took 20 minutes for Gokulam Kerala to get a goal in the second half. In fact, it's Manasa making it 7-0 from Jyoti's cross. Excellent measurement. A free header going past Meena Kashyap. And Gokulam Kerala literally storming past Mata Rukmani in this game. Priyanka getting hydrated. An injury to her. Mata Rukmani, they are facing a dominant Gokulam Kerala in the Hero Indian Women's League today. Gokulam Kerala head coach Anthony Andrews respected the Mata Rukmani side and said they are a young team with a lot of determination and hunger to progress every game. And they have won their last game and they will be putting their foot forward against them. And the former Hero Indian Women's League champions are looking to further better their gameplay by taking control of the game from the very first moment, and they're quite successfully managing to do so. Their approach and intent to progress from the last game and minimize their mistakes in the defensive unit and make better decision and control the game from the start. And there's Sonali, beautifully scooped into the area and beautifully cut off. by Reeth. And Lakshmi, she has lost it to Jyoti. A couple of players on her heels. Jyoti gets the cross in. Straight to Meena Kashyap. She was well placed at her near post. Ashalata Devi. Ratan Bala fails to hold on to the ball. That was Manju providing that cover, playing the role of a sweeper in Gokulam Kerala's deep defense. There's Reshma quite successfully adjusting with the system, with the flow, maintaining it, keeping it intact. Slightly sometimes the attackers not on the same wavelength. Mata Rukmani just trying to be passive, trying to block the passing channels into a midfield. That is quite difficult to do against Gokulam Kerala. Playing with a lot of fluidity. Shreya. Double change for Mata Rukmani this time. Jersey number 24 Tanvi replacing Ripika. And the number 6 Arpita coming on for Priyanka Futon. A very bold move from Sandeep Singh, bringing on attackers. Now the result, it doesn't matter to him. It's all about inducting a kind of style in the gameplay. And they just got to maintain them. And with every game they'll get better. In their debut season, whatever positives comes from it, they will welcome it with open hands and try and work on the loopholes and come back stronger in the next edition. Their ambition from here on will be to have to finish by staying in a decent position in the points table. And there's the free kick. Well travelled in the air. Straight to Shreya. First time in the game she had to hold the ball. Just hugging it to her chest. Affording a lot of space to Gokulam Kerala. Both in the middle and also on the flanks. What a ball for Jyoti. Jyoti's crossing. The ball still in play. Laid back by Manasa. Has gone out of play for a throw-in. Anthony Andrews quizzed about the team's campaign so far. He mentioned that he is happy with how they have started their campaign, but still they have a long way to go. And they will take every game one at a time and try to progress. Here is Ashalata. Sonali. Samiksha. Trying to break the line. Wintan. Gokulam looking to pull strings from the middle now, especially after the arrival of Wintan. You'll see her dropping into that pocket of space and now setting up a shot, and the side-footed attempt has gone wide. Ratan Bala Devi with the attempt has scored a wonderful long ranger against PIFA in the last game, and that was a 6-1 victory with goals from a brace from Manisha, Wintan also scoring a brace, Karishma and Ratan Bala with a goal each, making all the 5 changes. Anthony Andrews, which means no chance for Karishma to feature this evening. Last quarter of an hour gone. Last 15 minutes. Increasing on their ball possession. Gokulam Kerala from 81 it has gone up to 82. And now trying to string few passes together, but they've played it out. And this time is the number 6. And that was Arpita. Speaking on the plans ahead of this game, Sandeep said they treat all their opponents with respect and give their 100%, and this game will be no different. And they've tried to put up a fight against Gokulam Kerala. And Gokulam, they've got too much quality in them. And they are far superior than the rest of the teams playing in the Hero Indian Women's League. Setu Madurai can give them a fight though, like ARA Football Club did in the first half. And they conceded in the previous game against PIFA Gokulam. Jyoti goes on the outside. Shot is blocked by Sulekha. It's going to be one more corner for Gokulam. Explaining about the Hero Indian Women's League campaign so far, Sandeep said they have come here to improve, and every game has been a good learning opportunity for them. Wintan, can she sort her feet out? Wintan, eventually a lot of traffic ahead of her. I had to choose Ratan Bala. Generating a lot of backlift, Ratan Bala Devi. 34 shots taken by Gokulam. None on the flip side by Mata Rukmani. It will be a great experience for the players playing against Gokulam. And players performing well will draw a lot of confidence. This is Sonali. in the center circle. Ratan Bala getting caught out there to Pyle. Mansa, Ashalata Devi, Reshma, Mansa in support. Not the greatest of the passes. Winton gets it back. Winton away from one, now from the second, and almost from the third. Slightly diverting it, making that horizontal run across the penalty area. She is so comfortable. Nice body swerve. It's slightly cloudy here this evening here in Bhubaneswar. Dark cloud also mounting in the sky of Mata Rukmani. Number 12 going off and coming on is Preeti. A lot of concerns in the team. As Sandeep Singh said, a couple of the players are racing against time to be fit for this game. Still the team that takes the field will be ready to give their all, is what he mentioned yesterday in the pre-match conference. Sonali. It's a good looking ball in. Support arrives from Reshma. Reshma with the try. Will be kept alive by Winton. Still Winton. A run been made. Choosing Ratan Bala. And just putting it behind for a corner. A good piece of defending there from Reet Kashyap. The ball was eventually going towards goal. She stood in the way. This time it's gonna be Ashalata Devi. 10 minutes of regulation time remaining in this game, and we start off with the corner. There is a breeze blowing from the south end. Ashalata Devi, ball towards the outside, and Jyoti, still Jyoti. Clearance not very confident. Winton, side-footed attempt, and then that acrobatic clearance. Number 24 Tanvi tried to take the ball in her stride. Dangmei Grace, a neat touch, cleared away by Nilima. Muscled away. Gonna be a foul and free kick. Two fouls committed already by Dangmei Grace in this game. It's been not so threatening this evening in terms of going forward. And now winning the ball high up in the opposition's area. That was much better from Mata Rukmani. Not the shot on goal though. The referee has instructed something to the goalkeeper, and meanwhile play stops. 7-star performance from Gokulam Kerala so far. And Mansa with the only goal in the second half. A very happy bench. Anthony Andrews on the right with the players to the left. It's a star-studded bench. Meanwhile, Mata Rukmani, they are here to learn. They are here to take the experience back home. The India internationals, Dalima Chibber, Manisha Kalyan, Ranjana Chanu, and even the legendary Aditi Chauhan in the frame. And Shreya Huda, she is back on the pitch. Ashalata Devi, play resumes. Launching it long towards Wintan. Taking control is Jyoti from the left this time. Flashing a shot. Oh, it's rifled into the top corner. So easy on the eye. 8-0 for Gokulam, and what a flash of pace shown there by the number 77. Look at that. Fired into the top corner. Super stuff there from Jyoti. And it's 8-0 for Gokulam. There is goals all around the pitch for Gokulam. Jyoti also on to 2 goals. And now this time it's turned for Wintan. Angle is a little bit tight. Decision given in favor of Mata Rukmani. Wintan, though, she is not happy. She featured for Myanmar in the AFC Asian Cup, which was played a couple of months back in Maharashtra. Here is Anthony Andrews heading towards 5th straight victory. It's gonna be his 15 on trot this season. A win will take them to 15 points and put pressure on Setu Madurai, who are playing catch up with them, which means Setu Madurai will also have to win their match. And there's Ashalata Devi. Slightly disappointing from the number 4. No pressure from Mata Rukmani, which is why both Samiksha and Ashalata Devi are just staying inside the opposition's area for most of the game. It's Arpita. Leaving it for Sulekha. Very young. The left back can also play on the right side of defense and also the central defender. Ashalata Devi searching for Wintan. Wintan trying to bulldoze her way through. Can't find the cross in. Does get a corner for her efforts. And the defending champions, they are on a roll here. Maintaining their supremacy in the Hero Indian Women's League. Last time though, Kripsa give them a good fight, and not this time from Jyoti. Slightly over ambitious, the number 77. Sometimes you just got to keep things simple. I should have gone for the cross. Gokulam Kerala will look to end on double digit this game. Score as many as possible. Already 37 goals been scored in 5 matches. And that's nicely done there by Priyanka. Excellent switch to the right. There is a player arriving down the middle. Got to pick her out in the number 20. It's an excellent ball. Players quickly converging on her. But possession is still with Mata Rukmani. Priyanka. Attempted cross from the right. Samiksha blocks. A throw in for Mata Rukmani. The highest they have entered in this game in the Gokulam Kerala territory. Ball want to take a deflection, put out by Manju, and now chase for the 50-50. Sulekha accelerating, takes on Manasa, and now Sonali is arriving, and Sonali wins it off her. Wintan, and there's the switch. Jyoti tried to knot the ball one way and make the run from the other. Still Jyoti puts a break on her run, stops and finds Dangmei Grace on the edge of the penalty area. Dangmei Grace fails to kill the bounce of the ball. Uh, 2 minutes of added time. And that's much better. Sonali. Last touch coming off her. Mata Rukmani will be facing their 4th defeat. Only 1 win and 3 losses before this. And they'll remain 3rd. Placed 9th in the points table. That's a fine run. Steaming onto the ball. Clever footwork. Then the setup and the shot is blazed over the top. Dangmei Grace with a wonderful work. A mazy run. Taking on a couple of players and then that inch perfect cross towards Jyoti. Just couldn't quite keep it underneath the crossbar. Last 30 seconds of this game and countdown begins here at the capital ground. Gokulam Kerala edging towards their 5th victory of the season. Wintan one way then the other asking for it. Jyoti, she's been obliged. Dangmei Grace shaping up for another long shot, feints for the shot but it's a good pass into Sonali. Sonali has got months of a support but Sonali keeps going. Beautifully cut out there by Nilima. It's gonna be the full-time whistle any moment. Referee in fact taking the whistle in her mouth, ready to blow it, and that's the full-time whistle at the capital ground between Gokulam Kerala and Mata Rukmani Football Club, and it has ended 8-0 in favour of the Malabarians, and a win taking them to 15 points and eventually cementing their top spot. And Mata Rukmani falling to another defeat. This is the highest margin defeat they faced this season. The previous one was 7-1 against SSB Women Football Club. This is Gokulam Kerala's third highest margin victory in this campaign of the Hero Indian Women's League. 37 goals been scored in 5 games. A wonderful record. Setu Madurai fans watching this, they know to keep up the pace. They'll have to win their next game. That is going to be their immediate assignment. Now the hero of the match going to be El Shaddai, the Ghanaian striker of Gokulam Kerala, for scoring the hat-trick. She is awarded a cheque of 5,000 rupees, powered by Hero Motorcorp Limited. These are the match stats. The full-time whistle: Gokulam Kerala 8, Mata Rukmani 0. These are the stats. It has ended 80-20, the ball possession in Gokulam's favour. 39 shots taken. Ridiculous numbers. 15 of them on target. 2 shots. Only 1 of them on target from Mata Rukmani. They also committed a couple of fouls. Gokulam Kerala winning 16 corner kicks. These are the 39 shots, a lot of red mark in the touch map, and all those indicates the goals. El Shaddai with 7, Jyoti with 1, Ratan Bala with 5 shots, Dangmei Grace with 4, hasn't got on the score sheet, Soumya with 4, Manisha Kalyan with 4 as well, and that long ledge did try the red mark, which resulted into the opening goal for Gokulam. Only 2 shots taken by Mata Rukmani, Priyanka Kashyap and Arpita with 1 each. And there are the number of fouls committed by Gokulam in this game. 7 in total. Grace with 2, Jyoti with 2, El Shaddai, Mansa and Reshma with 1 each. Time for the number of fouls committed by Mata Rukmani in this game. They've committed 2 in fact, and Vandana Dhruv and Naina Jal with 1 fouls each. And now let's have a look at the goals being scored by Gokulam Kerala in this game. Starting with Manisha Kalyan's strike. This was the first one. A perfect start to the game. Meena Kashyap had no chance whatsoever. Soumya's cross, massive dip, went in. And then the third goal, Dalima Chiba with a low shot, ricochets off a defender. Ratan Bala then coming off the woodwork, and El Shaddai making it 3-0. Then wrong footing the defense. Ratan Bala goes for it again. Keeper fumbles, and El Shaddai capitalizing onto it, making it 4-0. There's Ratan Bala selling one dummy, quickly shifting to her left side. This is the 5th goal, in fact, scored by Manisha Kalyan. No, she puts it on a platter, and El Shaddai completes her hat-trick. And then Manisha Kalyan once again in the center of things. Dalima Chibar's cross, Soumya's header, hitting the target. It's ended 6-0 in the first half. There's Dalima Chiba, highly impressive with her crosses. And then Jyoti with an inch perfect ball for Mansa, making it 7-0. The first goal of the second half, and then Jyoti herself scoring the goal number 8 for Gokulam. So the full-time score from the Capital Ground is Gokulam Kerala Football Club 8, Mata Rukmani Football Club 0. So goodbye from the Capital Ground. We'll join you shortly. Stay tuned.